Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Nick here. Today I wanted to talk about being able to do what you want to do, making the decision, planning, and things like that. Now, a lot of people seem to think that they don't have control of what they want to do in this life. I'm kind of tired of hearing people say, well, I can't do this or I can't do that or whatever. You know, this kind of mentality will never get you on the way to what you want to achieve in life, or what kind of happiness you want in this life, or where you want to end up, 3, 5, 10, 15 years from now. Now, I'm not going to talk so much about money and wealth, but that is one of the goals, obviously, for everybody in this world. Unfortunately, it seems to be the driver only in life, and that's what people are here for, which I don't really subscribe to that kind of notion. But what I want to talk about is who is in charge, who will make the change for you, who can change your life, who can decide what's best for you, what you want to do, where you want to go, do you want to travel, do you want to work for yourself, things like that. Now, so many people, I don't know about you, but so many people seem to think that it's not in their control or it's not up to them, which I think is complete, utter bullshit. I think people really need to start realizing that only they can change their life. Like, for example, myself. I was always really kind of unhappy where I was. I didn't like winter time, things like that. I wasn't 100% happy where I was. Now, who can make the change? I was always kind of like doing the regular job that I was doing, Monday to Friday kind of nonsense, and not really living my life, kind of living that whole work for weekends type of lifestyle, which is really not what I wanted to do. I mean, I can see people falling into that trap. It's very easy to fall into, but is that really what you want to do in this life? Do you just want to, continuously just work for the man and things like that? My guess is not. Now, there's all kinds of ways that you can get out of it. I understand that people have families. I understand people have debt and things like that. But really, at the end of the day, like I mentioned, only you can change it. Only you can find the way to escape whatever unhappiness or whatever prison or whatever kind of thing that you're stuck into. I call living this 9-to-5 lifestyle kind of a prison, I believe. You're basically using all your time, and I don't know what job you do. I mean, I did a 9-to-5 job, like I mentioned, and it didn't pay all that much. My choice, of course. I'm not blaming anybody. But this is what I'm talking about. People don't want to decide and put in their head and realize that they're the ones in control. They're the ones that can only change their life. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I truly believe this. I think even if you're in the poorest place in the world, or if you're one of the richest people and you're still unhappy, only the individual can make the change that's necessary to get out of what unhappiness they're stuck in. I totally agree. Like, look at marriages, for example. There's a lot of people who are unhappily married or in a relationship that, isn't benefiting them, or they're just simply, kind of like a zombie. But how do they get out of it? Just end it. I know that you're going to probably mention that while a rich guy doesn't want to lose all his money and things like that, that's just part of the consequences of your original decision, especially if you don't have like a prenuptial agreement or something like that. You're gonna have to decide: would you rather hold on to your money, or are you gonna be unhappy? There's really, I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. I would just cut my losses, especially if I was in that position. But I probably wouldn't get myself into that position. But the point I'm trying to make is, so many people don't realize that their life is in their own control. Only you can change it. Like my example, I left my home country. I left friends, family, things like that. Very difficult doing that. But on the positive side, the weather is excellent. I don't have to be constrained to being stuck inside all the time like I was in 2020, for example, during the cold winters, which was insane. So for me, it's a question of like wanting that change, finding a way to get that change done. I mean, if that means saving up money for a year or two so that you can leave the job that you're at in order to go wherever you want to go to, absolutely. Just hamper down and do it, and save the money that you need to save, put it together, go to that other country you want to go to, do that trip you want to do something, do something that will make you happy and not wasting your time in this life. So that's my other point in this video. Only you can change it, but then you constrain yourself to a specific job or relationship or it's essentially a comfort zone, in my opinion. And I'm guilty of it. I mean, I've been through that. I'm just trying to show everyone that there's other opportunities, other ways of living in this life. You don't have to be stuck with the 9 to 5, or you don't have to be the night shift guy or something like that. I think we all seem to think that, no, this is how life is, and we're taught that, and society teaches that, our family teaches that. It's just, I don't believe that anymore. I believe getting out of the system, breaking away from the matrix, as I like to call it, and doing something different, doing something that you enjoy doing. I'm not saying don't work or whatever, but I think everyone should be doing a job that they enjoy doing. That's why I don't fully believe that there'll never be people working. Like, not everybody will get out of this rat race system. I think that, for example, there are people who love jobs that other people who don't like that are doing those jobs. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like they're not doing the job that they want badly or that they would really enjoy doing. Like, I'll give an example. Someone working at the bakery, okay, and they can't stand working at the bakery, okay? They would rather be doing marketing, or they would rather be teaching a course, maybe a language or something. So why is that person not doing that other job? Generally, it's either because they don't go through the education, depending on the job, obviously, or they get sunk into a comfort zone where they're getting a certain amount of money, or they're living paycheck to paycheck, which, by the way, there's a solution to that. Just, I'll get to that. Or they're just not looking for the opportunity. Like, you have to sometimes leave where you're living in order to do the job that you prefer to do. Where I was living, I wasn't able to find an English teaching job. Like, here where I'm living now, I could probably find 1,000 teaching jobs. Sure, it's not going to pay that great. I mean, I work online, but I mean, the opportunity is in abundance, and it's pretty awesome when you go someplace and you find that job which you can't do back home or something, and there's no restrictions. It's awesome. Obviously, you have to have the certain skill set in order to do the job, which 100%. But let's make it an even easier concept. Let's say this person wants to be a construction worker. I don't know. I'm just throwing an idea out there. They have to leave that and go to the other job. I'm just giving examples. I'm not saying everyone wants to be a construction worker. Probably pays well, especially in Canada or US. But the point is, it seems like we've become a culture where we don't go after what we want. And there are lots and lots of people who definitely go after what they want. But I think, personally, there's a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, that are doing professions that they're doing now and went through university, like, doctors, dentists, whatever, because their parents wanted them to do it, or whatever, pressure. So you've got a lot of people out there who, unfortunately, are working jobs they're just not 100% happy. They like the money, I mean, but it's not a passion. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not a passion. And I think everyone has to do a job that they're passionate about doing. I'm also a YouTuber. it's not my main job. Obviously, I hope one day it will be, but everyone starts from zero, for example. So you have to leave your comfort zone, or you have to just make changes that could be painful. You know, like let's say you had to relocate cities. That's not going to be easy. You're going to be leaving family, friends, things that you're accustomed to, for something totally different, whether that's a city in the US or Canada or whatever. But I look at it the other way. If it was me, I'd be like, wow, an adventure, some change. Like me personally, I love change. There's a lot of people who don't like change at all, but I like change. Certain aspects of change, like scenery, or when you go on a vacation or something, and you're just in a new place that you've never been. It's an awesome feeling, because maybe I'm an explorer and a discoverer at heart, possibly. But I love going somewhere where I've never been, checking it out, meeting new people, local customs, things like that. I'm hoping to do many more trips in the future, hopefully, to countries I haven't been. But my point is, there's a lot of people who are just not living up to their potential. And I'm not judging at all. This is not a video where I'm going to be judging, not at all. I just want people to look inside themselves like I did and think, how can I make a change? Let's do a scenario here. Let's say this person, worst case scenario, this person is indebted. This person doesn't have a high self-esteem. This person has maybe a child or whatever. Let's say in a relationship. Worst case scenario, okay? And they're living paycheck to paycheck. How can they make a change to improve their life? Now, there's a bunch of options, there's a lot of options. Me personally, this is what I would do. I would live within my means. I know it's certain places are expensive and whatnot, and try to cut back on everything, at least temporarily, until you've gone onto your feet and you can make a good source of income, or out of the minus at least, and don't. The problem is a lot of people have bad spending habits. Anyway, you want to fix your spending habits and live within the means of whatever paycheck. I was doing that. I mean, I was earning 2,000 Canadian dollars a month, okay, and I was having to pay approximately 1,000 for my rent. So already 50% of it gone, and this is after tax, by the way. Then I had to pay my phone bill, like electricity and things like that. So I was really not left with much. But the key is, I was able to get out of debt by a few years earlier by paying it down and not buying expensive crap, not going out all the time for fancy dinners, or even just eating out, because God knows it's expensive. The key to get out of that is cut costs at all costs. You don't need the Netflix. You don't need if you're in debt like a few $1,000s or more, you want to cut everything that is not a non-essential. Like, I'll probably do a video about this specifically, of what things you should cut out. I know there's videos out there, but I want to do based on how I was cutting things out and whatnot. But to get to a place where you want to get to, it may take 2-3 years. I don't know. It depends on if you want to do a side hustle, which could also bump up your finances in order for you to pay off the debt. My suggestion is, pay it all off as soon as possible. Like, drop as much money as you can put as a monthly payment. You don't want to pay these banks or whatever, student loan, if you have a student loan or whatever. You don't want to be paying them interest. That's free money you're giving these people, okay? It's a terrible, terrible investment. Even if you've got a course done, you're still going to end up spending, a lot of people end up spending 2 or 3 times more money on the course that they took, because they borrowed the money and weren't paying it down fast enough. So that's one of the things you want to do. If you're in a relationship and if you're very happy, try to maybe convince this person that you want to change somehow, and maybe they're up for it. Who knows? Not everybody is. But if you're unhappy and your situation is already an unhappy one, then maybe it's time to end that relationship. Don't take it 100% from me. I'm just saying these are possible options for you to get out of the rut that you're in, or the unhappy situation. This is what I would do. And I'm just hoping people will believe inside themselves, think hard, that and know that you're the only one that can make the change. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else can do it for you. You might be able to get input from friends and family, but a lot of them will just sort of like maybe dismiss it unless they're really supportive of what you want to do. You know what I mean? A lot of people are not going to understand. I mean, I'm probably going to be like one of the strangest guys that you can possibly think of. I mean, when it comes to my mentality, thinking in this life, I have so many different possibilities of thinking. I mean, I believe we're in a giant, what do you call it, programming, like a computer programming. So, I mean, you might not want to take it from me, but I truly believe that everything is programming. So if you can program your brain and your mentality of way of thinking, and be more thinking positively as well. Positively is definitely a key, but just reprogram saying, I can do it if I want to. I want to live life. I mean, it's so sad. I mean, there's so many people, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to these people, but so many people are not living their lives, their full potential. It's insane to me. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, I know friends who are stuck in the same type of job and routine, and I mean, I remember in my 20s I'd be like work, and then I'd have like the weekend, do whatever, spend money, go back, and it's like it's a vicious cycle of, I don't know, maybe it's just because I really like change, and I just don't like being stuck in the same place all the time. You guys see the same background here. Maybe soon it's going to change. I'm going to do a video outside somewhere. So I mean, I don't like constant same. I like consistency when it comes to quality and things like that, but I don't like consistency when it comes to your surroundings or the same thing all the time. I mean, I'll let you guys know a little secret. Even my girlfriend here, it gets trying at sometimes. I'll do a whole video about relationships and how to deal with monotonous type stuff, but it's the routine. And I know it's not her fault, but she's just kind of like grew up with this routine, gotta study, I think you should be able to do whatever the hell you want to do in this life, and no one should tell you otherwise. That's my advice for you guys today. I'm sorry if this video was kind of rambling on and things like that, but I really had to sort of narrow in on the subject in order for me to really explain what I mean. And if you guys get what I mean, write in the description box what you would do to break the monotonous routine, or what you do to break the monotonous routine of everyday life, and what are your aspirations? How do you become more positive to move ahead in changing your life? And yeah, so write that in the box, and let me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of a ramble on, like I mentioned, but I think it's important to get these things out of your head when they're fresh, So only you can make the change in your life. Don't forget that. Even no matter how difficult it seems, I think everyone has the capability to do it. It's just will. It's a question of determination, will, getting things done around you. I mean, looking for help from different sides of the spectrum in your life to try and move up and to get out of that situation that you're in. I mean, eventually I won't be living here. I'll be moving somewhere else. I'll go all over the place. I don't know. This is just life. So thanks guys for watching. Until the next video, take care.